Ever wondered what happens when a life that looked perfect suddenly changes direction? Let me tell you a story. Kate? Kate, who was just heading to her usual table at the cafe for lunch, turned around in surprise. No one ever called her that here. She'd been working at this company for 5 years, and everyone addressed her exclusively as Miss Kate. A man was hurrying toward her from the entrance, and that smile. It looked so familiar. Kate nearly dropped her purse. It can't be. The man laughed and wrapped her in a bear hug. Well, as you can see, in this life, anything is possible. What are you doing here? She asked. You left for the ends of the earth, didn't you? I heard things were going great for you over there and you weren't planning to come back. Michael chuckled. Sounds like the local gossip network is still working flawlessly. Kate blushed. Well, you know how our grandmas are. You probably hadn't even gotten to your destination yet and they were already spreading updates about your life. I never had a doubt it'd be like that, he grinned. Back then I just wanted to shine in front of you, to the point where you'd regret everything. Kate laughed. Freely now. 12 years had passed since their breakup. Only now she could laugh. That first year? Even smiling had been hard. They'd fought over something so stupid. Well, now it seemed stupid. Back then it was sparks, smoke, thunder and lightning, and Michael's furious eyes. So, you think that once people get married, that's it? They can't have careers or grow as individuals? He'd said. Kate should have stayed silent. She knew relationships and family were Michael's top priority. But she couldn't hold back. When people get married, they feel things, but then reality sets in and it's all different. Everything changes. They get dull, if that's what you want to hear. Michael had actually stepped back in shock. Kate nearly bit her tongue. Just days before, they'd been dreaming about getting married, starting a business, building a life together, and she had wanted that too, just not right then, later. Why rush into marriage when they had nothing yet? One word led to another. They had never fought like that. Later, Kate would think about that argument endlessly and couldn't even understand what came over them. It was like a blackout. Well then, Kate, Michael had said coldly, I'll get married in a few months, and I'll succeed. Watch me. I told you, I'm not ready to get married right now. Well, good news. I'm not marrying you, he snapped. There are plenty of women who get married without turning into vegetables. Oh, that's how it is, she shouted. Go dull your life somewhere else. Preferably far away, Kate nearly cried. But more than crying, she wanted to punch Michael. Hard. Enough to send him flying. He turned and left. Kate did the same. They parted like two enemy ships that had simply run out of ammo. But neither of them considered themselves defeated. Kate and Michael had been together since the first grade. They always thought they'd end up married. And now this? The local grandmas got excited, waiting for updates. And when those updates came, they passed them straight to Kate. 2 months later, she heard Michael had gotten married. Somewhere up north, where he'd fled the day after their fight. Kate didn't believe it. She hadn't checked social media in ages, mostly to avoid giving him a chance to reach out. But that day she looked, and froze. There was Michael, next to a girl in a wedding dress. She cried all night, and by morning she was someone else. She got married too, a year later. Though, to be fair, her husband would have probably never proposed on his own. James was a bit lazy, slightly childish. So Kate proposed herself. Well, she more like informed him. James, we've been together long enough. I think it's reasonable to get married. No need for a big wedding. Let's just travel somewhere. We can even bring your mom. James had lit up. Kate couldn't figure out if he was happier about the wedding or the part about bringing his mom. James's mum was very present in their life, but since Kate spent most of her time at work, she barely noticed. So, just so you know, Kate said now, I wasn't exactly crying over you, but yeah, it stung a little. How've you been, Kate? I got tired of the cold, he said. Split with my wife, now ex-wife. She kept the business there and I came back. Bought a building not far from here. I'm remodeling it now. I'll be importing fish from my old company and processing it here. Sounds like you and your ex have a good relationship. Yeah, we were always great friends. No issues there. She's getting married soon. To her high school sweetheart, I think. I'm actually happy for her. And you? How are you doing? Well, you know, no grandmas up north to keep tabs on me, she smiled. Working? Married? Where do you work? See that blue building over there? Yeah? I hear that's a really solid firm. So, they say we've already taken over 3 companies in this city, and we're still expanding. By the way, I got promoted today. I'm now the head of the department. Congratulations! Yeah, I'm satisfied. I mean, I'm happy with my life. I've achieved what I wanted. Kate paused for a second. Though, I think I am. Of course, everyone wants more than they have, so we just keep moving forward. Her meeting with Michael, strangely enough, shook her. Kate couldn't quite figure out why. After digging a little deeper into her feelings, she realized maybe it would have been easier if Michael's life wasn't going so smoothly. In her family, she was the only one striving for something. Her husband? Not so much. But Michael and his wife had grown together, built something together. Kate tried to remember. Didn't her husband also have a college degree? She was pretty sure he did. But she insisted he stay home. Yeah, her husband was a house husband. He wasn't growing. He wasn't interested in anything. And why not? A man like that only slows her down. He doesn't push her, doesn't motivate her. Kate pulled up to their house. They had bought it not too long ago and had recently finished the renovations. Exactly the way she wanted it. James didn't participate at all, not in choosing wallpaper, not in picking the furniture. Honestly, her husband felt a bit childish. James peeked out from the kitchen. Hey, I made a special dinner and chilled a bottle of champagne. Why? James looked confused. What do you mean, why? You said the promotion order was supposed to be signed today. I got fired, Kate said. She didn't even know why she said it. Maybe to see his reaction. There he stood, looking sad, silent. She sighed. She didn't feel like being home. Kate changed clothes and walked out of the room. James looked at her in surprise. Going out? Yeah, I need some air, but dinner? I worked hard on it. She barely held back her frustration. Not now. Not in the mood. Seriously? His wife just told him she got fired, and all he can say is let's eat. She drove around the city for a long time, pulled out Michael's business card a couple of times, tempted to call, but each time she put it back in her wallet. Why should she? If he wants. He has her number too. And she did tell him he could call any time. Her husband wasn't the jealous type anyway. After a while, boredom crept in. She headed home, planning to tell James it was just a joke. She entered quietly and immediately realized her mother-in-law was there. James and his mum were talking in the kitchen. James, maybe it's for the best, his mum was saying. You can finally go back to work. You used to love your job. You studied so much for it. And that farm you used to work at keeps calling you back. Yeah, Mum, you're right. But I don't know how to bring it up to Kate. You know what she'll say. You? Go to work? Who needs you? Kate froze. They were talking about her. And she suddenly remembered how once James had mentioned going back to work and how she'd shut it down, not wanting to change their lifestyle. You can't live like this, son, his mum continued. I know Kate does a lot for us, but that doesn't mean she has to do it all alone, especially while stepping over others in the process. Mum, that's just her personality. She can't help the way she is. I'm not saying I'm against Kate, but tell me, what about love? Your relationship feels so transactional. I've never once seen any affection from her or you. Mum, Kate works really hard. And anyway, we're not kids anymore. Every word stung. But it was all true, every word. Kate rushed outside. No! No way! She couldn't have turned into that kind of woman. She pulled out her phone and called her best friend. Kat, can I ask you something? You okay? Are you drunk? No, I'm serious. One question. Please answer honestly. All right, what is it? Is my husband lazy? Or did I turn him into that? There was a pause. Kat? Her friend cleared her throat. Well, you kinda have a talent for turning people into something else. You broke James, bent him into a knot, and the way you treat your employees. Yeah, same story. Kate was quiet. Think about it, and then you can get mad at me later. Thanks, Kat. Kate got in the car and drove off. She didn't care if James noticed or not. She just needed to think. She snapped out of it when she realized she was by the river. She and Michael used to come here a lot, a long time ago. Kate? She turned sharply, but wasn't surprised. Hey, he said, sitting beside her. What's with that face? Tears welled up in her eyes. Michael, I'd been such an idiot. He frowned. All right, start from the beginning. What happened? She talked and talked, jumping between memories of their past and her messy present. Took you long enough to realize it all, he said softly. What should I do? She asked. What do you think? So, Kate paused for a moment. You know, I think I want to let James go. There really never was any love between us. Maybe, Michael replied. No, not maybe, definitely. He deserves to do what he loves. You've always been right, and James, well, he deserves some credit for putting up with it all these years. Kate suddenly stood up. I'm going to tell him, right now, Michael smiled. I wanted to call you so many times, but I thought you wouldn't want to hear from me. You were wrong, she said quietly. I've been waiting for your call. When she got home, James and his mother were still sitting in the kitchen. Their faces were tense. They had probably seen her drive off and realized she'd overheard their conversation. Well, hello, she said, sitting down at the table. She looked at her husband. Bring out your fancy dinner, and the champagne, too. James raised his eyebrows in surprise, but quickly began setting the table. Kate poured 3 glasses. First, she said, a toast to my promotion. But you said... I was joking, she interrupted, noticing how his face immediately darkened. And now, to a new life. James gave her a puzzled look. Whose new life? Yours? Ours. Your mum's. James? We're getting a divorce. A divorce? He echoed. Not as enemies, as friends. We'll split everything fairly. I don't want you to think I'm being cruel. You've always been there. But I was the one stopping you from living your life fully and working again. So tell me honestly, do you love me? He hesitated. Exactly, she said. And I can't say I do either. We were just comfortable. But that's not enough. You were both right. No one should live at someone else's expense. James was silent for a while. Then he looked at her. You know what? Thank you. I feel like I can finally breathe. They separated quickly and amicably. The house stayed with Kate. They used some of their savings to get James a decent apartment. Each kept their own car. Kate even helped him find a good job in his field. When they said goodbye, James hugged her. Thank you, Kate. For what? For not letting me make any decisions, and maybe for everything else too. I suddenly want everything out of life. I'm going to work like crazy. I believe in you, she said. Kate stood by the window alone. She sipped some wine. It was quiet, unusually quiet, but peaceful. Deep down, she knew she had done the right thing. Her phone rang on the table. Hello? Hey, heard through the grapevine that you're a free woman now. Just wanted to know. Are you accepting visitors? Kate laughed. People like you? Any time, day or night. And then, softly, calmly, come over. I've been waiting for you for a long time. So, friends, if you enjoyed the story, please support me by clicking the like button. It's just one click for you, but it means a lot to me. Thank you.